All right, so here today we got a fun one. So today we're talking about potentially how is GC doing? You might be asking, hey, is GC holding up well? Is GC doing bad? Where is it at right now? And I wanted to show you where they're currently at, and this is why next year it might be a little bit more of a different plan for them. I wonder what they're going for, right? Remember earlier this year, and I'm curious, do you see this or do you not see this? They did say that they originally planned that they would take part of their studios that work on their original IP games, tear them apart, and put them towards working on 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross and 7 Deadly Sins Origin, and also sub part of that working on solo leveling, more of their IP based games. Did this year so far feel like that? Let's say starting from December or January onwards, did the game feel like that? I want you to answer that question. Let me know down below if you felt that way. But beyond that, let's talk about how the game did, because we actually have the revenue report, and this is how much Grand Cross popped off with last month. Take a look. So first up, you might be wondering, what does the revenue include? Let's go over that first. This is pretty much what the revenue is looking like. So first off, I'm not counting Hellbrum before someone says that. Dude, Hellbrum was part of this, but I don't think Hellbrum could have made anything of any sort of value of money, because most players didn't even want to 100% full send that. So I won't say that it was him, but Hellbrum is there if you want to count that. He is part of the update. What I will also make you count pretty much is this over here. Remember, solo leveling was technically most of last month. Last month they reached 6 million or 7 million or something like that, which was a huge number when you actually math it out and everything. A huge number. Remember, this still lasted for 2 entire weeks in the month of July, so this has to be added into the revenue. So however much Jinwoo pulled, however much Cha pulled, and however much Beru pulled, remember with Grand Cross especially, it's that game that they go in one wave of money, and then the second and third wave of money is the final weeks there, where players get a paycheck maybe, or players just have the ability now to whale, or they just wait till the last second, beg their parents or whatever to get some money to dive into this. But depending on that entire structure, that's how gachas work. And 7 Deadly Sins is no different. The second and third wave of money is after when the banner gets close to FOMO and it starts to leave. But remember, that's also counted here. So it's counting soul leveling, it's counting Sun God Freyr, which I don't think anybody unironically pulled for this. This was the most dead update in the history of Grand Cross. This update caused players to see the dark side. They're like, you know what? I can't stand this game anymore. Because it was so dead. Nothing dropped this update and it released Hellbrum, and players get so bored with fairy meta for some reason. But not that that's an issue. I'm not saying that that's an issue, but players do. So because of that, they hated that too. But then again, Demon King dropped, which also players hated this update as well, because this update just had nothing to do. This update was bad. This had nothing to do, and I stand by that. But that was pretty much what it has. And what did you walk away with revenue-wise? Let's take a look. So there we go, right to 7 Deadly Sins. Pretty much, though, just to show you what we beat. For example, Punishing Grey Ribbons down here, Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, Epic 7, Azure Lane, JJK Phantom Parade, Brown Dust 2, pretty much that's it. Puzzle and Dragons, I guess, if you know about that one. But 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross picked up apparently a whopping 5.66 million again, which means they mirrored what they tracked over here on gacha revenue. When we did the revenue together, we got about 6 to 7 million, which you have to realize, check the year prior, they had something released in June. I don't know what it was exactly, but it was a very bad update. I showed you the revenue. It was a horrific update. They were able to fix that revenue in June. And now July is usually no different. Usually July is pretty bad revenue. It's not the best, depending on what they released. They released Demon King 2 years ago. It was solid revenue, but it wasn't insane for them. 5.6 without a festival attached is insane for Netmarble. It's like god tier. It's oh, you know what I mean? Damn, it's that good. Take it a step further, Eminence this year, they did really good. So this year for collaborations for them, they did solid. They destroyed what they did last year with the garbage TOG that was. This TOG this year did so much better. So whether it be Yun that was better, whether it be Mazino that was better, whether it be meta-wise, whether it be design-wise, whether it be character-wise, or they just put effort in, who knows what the answer actually is, but it did better, far better than 3 characters, mind you. Remember that. Take it a step further. You then had Eminence, which also performed very well money-wise, which was insane for them. You then take it a step further. You had Jinwoo now, Soul Leveling, which did insane for them. So they've had 3 hits this year in collaborations. It comes to the point where, remember, they've been delaying purposely Ragnarok and OC updates, because that's going to be the big stinker of the month, of the year, right? That's going to be the month where everyone just doesn't want to put money into the game. For some reason, OCs are just hated in this game. And whenever it drops, it usually just performs badly. Remember, they did good this year with Hell, actually. Hell is become a character where a lot of players no one complained about Hell. Hell performed pretty solid. It didn't perform as god tier as maybe like a festival would or whatever, but it performed on par. Maybe that 600 element to it allowed whales to go like 2 or 3 rotations in, and were willing to spend for those 2 to 3 rotations. Because I remember a third rotation's like 1800 compared to festival, which your second rotation is only 1800. Horrific, right? Horrific. So that was the point, but I wonder if maybe it's time now that they have to be forced to get away and release that OC update at the end of August here. But I wouldn't be shocked moving forward, moving to next year. They planned multiple collabs. They said it this year was collab year, and they didn't lie to you. They told you it was collab year, and you got it. They said in one of the dev notes that this year is gonna have a lot of collabs, and it's gonna be really centered around that, and it did. 3 of the major updates that turned the meta are all collab based. Whatever you say, whatever it is, the human team ate so good with Yunwa, Yun and Yurik Mizuno. Then fairy team ate so well with Eminence, and then human team and unknown team, right, with Beru and Jinwoo and them, right? So they did say that would happen, and they did. They were truthful on their front there. So I wonder if August is going to be a collab now. I wonder if that's like a plan. If this year it's not an August collab, let's say maybe next year they full send it. Maybe say, you know what, we're doing it next year, more collabs, because they do better for the game and players like it and players are willing to spend. The only thing that I would say is, remember, collabs are fine if you raise the stupid rates, dude. The rates for collab banners make you want to quit the game. I get it, that's like the source of money for them, but just increase it to a raw 1%, or hear me out, make the banner a 4%. Hear me out, you know what I mean? Higher chance to at least proc that percentage, but that's just how I see it. I'm curious in the future what they do here, but they have done very good here. This is, again, both collab and both Demon King's money counted into it. I do think that Demon King performed well, but I also think that this performed very well after the fact, to where a lot of players were like, dude, you know how much of this I saw in PvP? You know how many players returned to the games? Dude, you know players that I talked to back then returned to the game just to play this? They went, like, they left around maybe 2-3 years ago. They came back for this update, and they played, and they stuck around since then, for like a month now, right? It's this update brought so many players back, so combining it all together, Demon King, Jinwoo, this, I truly think that the one that ate the revenue up was the solo leveling collab, and then obviously Demon King second. Because again, he got like a week into the month. He still has 3 weeks to go for the rest of the month. A lot of players and whales also were like thinking about what to do. And plus the Melee League came out pretty early. They were like, oh, we're going for Melee too. But this month is also going to have god tier revenue because it's Meliodas. It's the entirety of what Demon King has to offer. It's whatever else we have as our step up, which is Scotty. And then on top of that, the summer special update. So this month will even kill it on the revenue as well. But I truly think that where the revenue took it was the collaboration. And I think also Demon King was a factor on top of that. I'm curious what you think here. The meta is now moving forward. Whatever it is, bring back a character like Demon King. That's what they did. Like with Mayel, both updates performed well. Yeah. Bring IPs players want. Eminence, Jinwoo, updates did good. Bring actually good characters for a collab. TOG did well. Tian on her own didn't do that good. And then King on his own did solid, but again, he could have done better. Put them together. They did great. So remember, that's how the formula is now. Duo banners, bringing back older characters players were begging for, and then bringing fan favorite IPs alongside making meta characters out of a garbage IP that players didn't like. Everyone said TOG was garbage. So their response was make very good characters that were bad if you skipped them, or sucked if you skipped them. So that's sort of the plays they're going for. Let me know what you think. Could be wrong, but that's just the way that I take it on exactly how Netmarble's been cooking things up lately. Especially lately. This year has been always on crack. Like every way on crack. Alright?